If I see one more reel telling me to post quality content every day, which is great advice,
Yeah.
but it's not the whole picture. You have to have a greater view of your
There's more than
marketing.
that.
There's so much more than that. Buenos dias, fatties and besties. I'm your host, Maddie Morris.
And I'm your host, Elliot Morris.
And you are listening to
My Last Two Brain Cells.
In Spain.
España edition.
You're probably like, where are you? We are sitting
In the Balearic Islands, Mallorca specifically.
on our hotel balcony.
In the town of Canyamel.
You might think, oh, I bet My Last Two Brain Cells is taking a break for a few weeks. No, not us.
I mean, I think we did skip a week.
Did we?
I think so.
My bad. My bad.
RB.
My bad, everybody.
RB.
But we're not skipping 2 weeks.
Nope.
We would never skip 2 weeks. We brought Elliot's Fujifilm camera.
We brought the cam.
He bought little microphones.
I got this specifically for this podcast episode.
And we didn't go into this trip thinking of what we were going to do a podcast about, but it came to us during the trip.
In a vision.
In a dream.
In a dream.
We were laying fast asleep. And then Elliot and I both went, marketing?
Perhaps.
The girls need to know how to market.
They need to know.
So we were originally here because we were in Paris, France with Lash Boss Retreats, which is started by Shelby the Lash Boss.
Love her.
She's based out of Austin,
Love her
Texas.
to death.
She also runs Lash Boss Summit, which was the conference we were speaking at in Austin this year. And she is so amazing, and she started these worldwide international retreats, and so Elliot and I got to be the guest educators for their Paris trip this year. I got to teach a little workshop on fan making, my favorite thing in the world, and Elliot taught a little workshop on marketing, but we only got an hour for our topics, and it was so beautiful, you guys. The classroom was in front of the Eiffel Tower.
You could see the Eiffel Tower out the windows. It was incredible.
And I was trying so hard to focus on fan making and focus on all these little movements, but my brain was just like, I had gained consciousness. I was like, I am literally teaching in front of the Eiffel Tower right now. I was levitating, you guys.
Yeah, it was
But
good.
because we only had about an hour for our workshops, we were trying to cram so much in, and
blazing through them.
And the ladies on this trip, who all own lash businesses that are at different stages, had so many good questions for Elliot and I about their marketing. And so, obviously, we had a very personalized 1 hour with them where we talked about where they're at in their lash business and how they can get to their next steps. But there was so much generalized information, and a lot of them wanted to know about our story and the way that we have done our marketing throughout the years with Lightheart Lash, because we have had quite the marketing journey. I mean, we have done pretty much everything under the sun.
Everything in the book. Oh, also, you know what? I want to show them what I keep looking at. I keep staring out at our view. I feel like it's going to be very distracting because I keep looking over here the whole time. But I just got to show you because it's so beautiful.
Show and tell with Elliot.
Look at, this is our view. This is our view. Wait, here, I'll give you the full experience. Okay, so this is our hotel. Beautiful. It's the Cap Vermel Grand Hotel if you would like to come stay here. That is, I don't think that's Canyamel. I think that's another little town. I need to figure out what that is. But look, this view is insane. The view is incredible. I can't stop looking at it. We got the ocean right there. We're going to go down there tomorrow, I think. Today we're just going to rot in the hotel. But yeah, look at these. They got the cypress trees. I think those are cypress. They got these little mushroom trees. These grounds are beautiful, you guys. They have so many like wonderful little fountains down there, and you know I love a fountain. I love a good fountain. Anyways, that's all. Let me set this back up.
Elliot had to do show and tell.
All right, show and tell with Elliot. Beautiful. All right, back to business.
Back to business. I feel like when people think about marketing, especially in lashes, all they think about, all we are told is how to do your social media, to post a lot, to post quality content, blah, blah, blah. If I see one more reel telling me to post quality content every day, which is great advice,
Yeah.
but it's not the whole picture. You have to have a greater view of your marketing.
There's more than that.
There's so much more than that.
So we're going to go through what we've done at each stage of the business, basically.
Yeah.
Starting from the beginning.
And to me, Lightheart has kind of had 4 very big chapters of its life, right? Like its baby stage when Lightheart was just a baby, it was Madison in Alaska doing lashes, building a lash
Madison
business.
was a baby. The business was a baby.
Yeah, wah. I didn't know how to words. I didn't know how to say words.
I didn't know how to words.
I didn't know how to words. No, that was so millennial. I didn't know how to talk. No, but when my business was just a baby, that was like...
That was such an epic fail moment.
That was stage 1 of our business. And stage 2 was when we pivoted into courses, teaching in person. Then stage 3 of our business was pivoting into online education. Stage 4 of our business was building in-person studios, the marketing around getting those rented out and making those successful. And then stage 5, which was honestly not even, I would say, a completely different company. Building the product line wasn't like expanding our business.
Nah.
It's
opening a new business.
It opened a new business for us, truly. And then we'll talk about a little bit of where we are now, because Elliot and I are still figuring out our marketing game plan to this day. This is a marketing crash course from people that have done it. We have never had a marketing coach, mentor. We don't have degrees in marketing. We both have no background in marketing.
But we have watched a lot of YouTube videos.
But boy, oh boy, if you're wondering, like, but how do they figure this out?
How do they figure it out?
Elliot and I watch YouTube videos.
Love
from
them.
the moment we open our eyes to the moment we fall asleep.
And anyone who tries to tell you that you cannot learn to build a large company using only YouTube, we are the example. You can.
Do you know what annoys me so much, you guys? When Elliot takes a shower, he has a speaker.
I got it for Christmas.
A speaker. And he Bluetooths his phone onto the speaker, and he will
listen to my podcast.
He will listen to like business podcasts on full blast in the shower. And so I'm hearing this electric toothbrush, I'm hearing the shower, and I'm hearing a podcast on full volume.
The thing is, and I actually, you know what? I want to touch on this because all the information is out there for free.
It is.
The difficult part, and the place that I think like coaches and courses and things can provide value, is that when you are looking on like YouTube or at podcasts or at any of the free resources that are out there, there's a lot of really, really good resources that are really good information, but there's also a lot of crap. And so it is like, it does take a lot of effort and work and like a skill in a way to like sort through the crap to find the stuff that's actually good.
Yeah, you can't like do every bit of information that you...
because you're going to get a lot of conflicting information, first of all, and you're going to get a lot of people who don't really know what they're talking about, who are posting stuff because they think they know, and if you follow their advice, then you're kind of going to be screwed. So you want to... like, that is the place I think that coaches and stuff like that can provide value. But
I think you would have to find, the thing is people always ask me like, do you know a coach for this? Do you know a coach for this? Thing is, if you want a coach for something, it has to be very specific. Like
I think it's really good if you find a coach who has done the thing that you are trying to do, and then they're saying, niche. I will teach you to do this thing that I have already done. So that you can do it too, then I think that can be a great coach.
And in those cases, when people ask me that, then I do some research for them, and I'm like, let me look through my network and try to match someone up to you that might be a good fit for you. Because some people are like, hey, I want a beauty business mentor, and I'm like, no. Are you trying to open a profitable salon? In what state?
Beauty business is too vague.
It's too vague. Are you trying to, leave your salon job and start a suite? Like, are you trying to start a partnership with someone? Are you trying to market trainings? It has to be, I think, the most value you can get out of a coach or a mentor is someone that has done the thing that you are doing, and they have very like niche information on that thing.
True.
Rather than just like something very broad.
Yeah.
So in the very beginning, how we started was I left my salon job in Anchorage, Alaska, and I rented a suite. I rented a space, and I had no Instagram. I had no business social media. I had a business card with my phone number on it that said, call this phone number. It went to my actual number. So I had nothing to start out. And the original first thing I did was I looked into my current network. And so that was my friends on Facebook. I had about 700 friends on Facebook. Most of them were friends from high school because I was 19 years old.
You know what's really funny is when Madison and I, like right when we first met, like before we even started dating. I think it was even before we met because I saw her respond to the Facebook group of the party we were going to, and then I looked at her profile on like Instagram, and I thought she was really cool because she had like 800 followers on Instagram,
Oh, yeah,
and I had like 85, and I was like, dang, she's got so many friends. That's so cool. She's like so popular.
So the party that Elliot and I met at, the Halloween party, there was a Facebook group for this big party. And it was just, when people used to throw parties, they would have a Facebook group that they would invite everyone. And I posted in the Facebook group, can't wait to see everyone tonight, like XOXO. And Elliot saw my profile from that.
I saw that post, and then I stalked her before we even got to the party.
So how crazy is it that I introduced myself to you?
Yeah, she introduced herself to me. I didn't even have to do anything. I was like, the girl I stalked on Instagram just said hi to me.
I was a marketing machine, you guys.
She was a marketing machine. She was networking.
But no, I had a network of about 800 people in Alaska that I had built over, they were friends from high school, friends' parents, teachers, cheerleading, the shoe store I worked at, that sort of thing. And I posted on my Facebook. Obviously, I didn't have more than 10 pictures of my terrible work from the day spa, but I posted the 10 pictures I had taken of my terrible work over the last 2 years. And I said, hey, I'm offering lash extensions. This is my location. Message me to get in, taking new clients.
And I think that one of the big reasons that it did well, like, because she got fully booked basically off of that, which is crazy, which is insane.
But the next day, which is,
and I really, if I'm looking back on it, I think the reason that you did get booked, one, is because there were not many options
were different,
in Anchorage, Alaska.
And so I was lucky in that way because of supply and demand.
Supply and demand definitely helped you out. But also, I think the big thing was like, even though your work sucked, it was objectively not good. There were people, even then, in Anchorage, Alaska, who had much better work than Madison did when she was starting out.
Yeah, totally.
I think she made it very clear with how she talked about like what she was doing online, that she really, really cared. And everyone who knew her knew that she was very, very kind and a very like caring person. And she made it very clear that she cared about giving people a very good experience when they booked with her, even though her work wasn't good. And she wasn't like hiding it. She was like, hey, these are the sets I do. If you want beautiful lashes like this, come by. People could see her work wasn't very good, but
if you want 25 classics on each eye, I'm your
girl.
I'll take care of you.
But she was just so nice online that people booked with her because they were like, you know what? Maybe I could go see someone else and maybe it'll be a little better, but her pricing is good. Like, she was not high priced starting off. Her prices were very reasonable, and they had confidence when they saw her post online that they were going to have a good experience when they went in.
And so I would encourage you, if you're just starting, you're building your network before you open your business. And so if you're in a smaller town, don't be discouraged, because I was in a smaller, pool of people, and a smaller pool of people that got their lashes done, but think about what you currently have. And so if you have, I bet anyone watching this has 500 friends on Facebook that you've had since 2016. Oh, yeah. Start posting for them every single day. Advertise there. Like, that is your current network.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's really interesting.
And that's why I also had a lot of older clients, because...
Oh, yeah, because it was all people's moms.
It was all people's moms. It was all Facebook. Yeah. And actually, most people that booked with me, it wasn't my friends I went to high school with. I never really had a lot of friends from high school book with me. It was their moms or their grandmas.
Yeah, because, like, people who are just out of high school and college, they don't have money to get their lashes done. Even if it is a reasonable price.
They didn't have $70, $100 to get their lashes done.
But their moms do.
I would have a lot of people be like, hey, can I buy a $100 gift card for my mom for Christmas to get their lashes done? And then I would hook their mom in as a client. So that was my original form of marketing. And then word of mouth was the strongest way that I was able to build my business.
What I think is really interesting is that it hasn't, like, so much in the lash industry has changed over like the last 5-10 years. And
it changes every day.
There's new trends that come and go. But the thing that, like, every time we talk to artists who are doing well and who are successful and who are fully booked, all of them get the vast majority of their clients through their network, being active in their community, and word of mouth. That's it for every single successful lash artist that I've met. I'm sure there's some that, like, have a really, really big Instagram presence and they get a lot of clients through that. But I think the vast, vast, vast majority, it's 100% word of mouth. It's all... they knew someone, and then that person knew someone who might be interested. That's how it is every single time. And your Instagram is important because it lets those people see your work and see who you are. But I don't think for most people, Instagram or your website or SEO or getting online traffic
here's the thing,
is
if you want,
the thing getting people like introduced to you.
Yes. And here's the thing, and the reason why we're starting from the beginning is so many people that are listening to this podcast, they want to get to the end, which stay till the end because it's going to get juicier. But everyone wants to, kind of get out from behind the chair 100% of the time, it seems like. People want to grow into other avenues and be creative with their lash career, but it all stems from the beginning. And you really can't become a successful trainer unless you have become a successful service provider. It is the core of what you do, and it's why I tell everyone, they're like, oh, I want to get into education. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me about your lash career. And they're like, I've been lashing for 9 months, and I think I'm pretty good. And I'm like,
too soon.
Too soon.
Slow down.
This is the core. It is the absolute core of what you do. And then all of the credibility that you build in the beginning right now, it's not for nothing. It'll pay off tenfold in the end. And I had a $1 million conversation yesterday. I had such a good conversation yesterday.
Can we shout her out? I feel like
no.
Oh, no.
Not who you're thinking of.
Oh.
We stayed at one of the most fancy, bougie, low-key resorts here in Spain.
Honestly, you guys, La Residencia has got to be in the top 10 resorts in the world.
We stayed.
It's insane.
We stayed somewhere. I think there were no one there worked in beauty. Everyone was like investment bankers and trust fund guys and hedge fund guys. And but there was a little salon and spa, and we love going to little salon and spas at hotels because when we go get treatments, we talk to the service providers, especially in these nice places, because we want to know their story. We want to know their clientele. How they make the experience a luxury experience, because that helps us do what we do better. And so I got a blowout. I got my hair done by the woman working there, and she had been doing hair there for 20, 30 years.
Shout out Lisa.
And
her.
She had such a kind, beautiful energy. We had a little hair sesh, and we talked the whole time about how Elliot and I have been able at so young to rent out the salon suites and teach classes and travel, and how my books have been full. And I was talking about how her books were full. And we had a really valuable conversation.
Which her books are full in a place where it honestly is pretty difficult to have full books. It's the people there are always, it's 100% like a tourist town. The people there are always rotating in and out. It has a very small population. The permanent population in Dea, which is where it is probably less than 1,000. And there's a few people who are there, who stay there for a long time, who have vacation homes. There's some wealthy people who have vacation homes there. They'll come in and out for a few months. And so those are some of her regular clients. But it is honestly it's not an easy place to be fully booked, but she is. And
I go, oh, are a lot of the beauty service providers here fully booked like you are? And she goes, no. And I know others that really struggle. They can't get more than 1 or 2 clients a week. And I go, well, then what's different about you, Lisa? Why are you fully booked? And she even had clients that she was moving me around. She had a VIP client right before me, and she literally was like, I need to move you because I have this VIP client who I got to meet.
And it's someone whose products you have seen and or purchased.
So she moved my appointment, and this woman was there, and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like a movie star. I won't tell you who it is because
that's trashy. That's trashy.
I believe in privacy, but oh my gosh, you guys, I met somebody, and we had a sweet little interaction, and I told her she looks like a movie star, and that was it. But Lisa told me, she was like, honestly, just word of mouth. Literally, I've always been good to the current clients I have, and and she's involved. And so we went to a little hotel, cocktail party that night. She's there.
She's mingling.
She doesn't have to be there. She's there talking to all the guests. She's getting drinks with them. She's asking them about their vacation. Oh my gosh, she's giving them...
I guarantee she gets a client from every single one of those cocktail parties. Because the hotel hosts them every week for the guests of the hotel. Because it's always new guests in the hotel.
Yeah.
I guarantee she gets clients every time she goes to that.
No matter where you are, no matter how small of a town you are in, the more involved and more... giving you are with your community, the more people are going to respect you as a service
And
provider.
it's never going to change. That's never going to change.
That's timeless advice.
Yeah. Like getting involved in your community, in the events that are going on in your local area is like huge. And it works. It works for everyone. And so like, as much as we try to come up with like tricks and hacks and like, oh, like this is a way you can like use local Google Maps ads to like draw in clients. It's like none of it works as well as just being involved in your local community.
1,000,000,000%.
And I think, so like moving on a little bit, once you start scaling to a point, because the one downside of that method of getting booked is it doesn't really scale past you as an individual provider.
Right.
So if you are a person who wants to open up a salon and you have employees, that's when you do have to start investing in more scalable advertising methods, which is where like the paid advertising can be beneficial. But when you're an independent provider, you don't have the scale to where it makes sense. Because the big thing about like paid ads is that there's a lot of upfront investment in order to like, you're pouring money into them for a while to figure out how to make them work for your specific situation. And if you're a big salon and you have like even 5 girls, 10 girls who are like can support full clienteles, then it makes sense to put in that investment of time and energy and money. But if you're just an individual service provider, 98% of the time, I think you are way better off just getting more involved in your local community.
1,000,000,000,000%.
Yeah. So that is, I think it's really interesting because I think that is how Madison originally got booked. And then I think once we started, getting into like scaling up the business, working on other marketing methods, we really started like seeing success with, running our Facebook ads and Instagram ads and stuff. And I wanted to help other people do that. And this isn't like to say that like, obviously we have our course on Facebook ads. I think everything in there works like still to this day. But I think for the majority of people, and this is something I even say in the beginning of the Facebook ads course, it's like you want to do that after you've exhausted all the organic methods, like being involved in your community, like word of mouth.
Don't get out of beauty school and run a Facebook ad.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. You're not at that point yet. But once you've exhausted that, then you can do it. But the reason we say that you should exhaust like the organic methods first is because they're easier and they're cheaper, they're free. And so it's like, and they generally work better.
And they're timeless.
Yeah, and so if that's an option for you, that is the first option you should take. But then once you've like already done all you can with that, then that's when it makes sense to start working on other things. But I really do we see over and over again that it's just like the stuff that has always worked will still continue to work.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
How we marketed once we pivoted our business into education. So there was a time in Alaska where my books were so completely full and Elliot and I were a little depressed.
Perhaps.
A little depressed, you could say.
Are you saying that working from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day was not a healthy long-term strategy?
It wasn't. So Elliot and I, we got married. We were 21, and we lived in my little townhouse in Anchorage, Alaska. It was by Lake Hood, and
it was in the hood.
It was not in the hood. It was in a neighborhood.
The hood.
All right, I made it really cute.
It was on the inside, very cute.
Elliot,
on the outside, 1 or 2 crack addicts.
Well,
perhaps
3 or 4.
3 or 4 crack addicts.
But they weren't crack houses; they were crack homes.
They were, and they never bothered us.
So you know what? Us.
Who's? Don't knock it till you try it, right?
Okay, we didn't try crack, but no, Elliot and I. We're living there, and my lash business had honestly, in terms of me building a clientele that was reliable, sustainable, I was making really good money for a lash artist.
I mean, working 12 hours a day, doing a lot, and she was doing a lot of full sets too.
But the thing is it gets addicting, and no one talks about like the dark side of being booked and busy, which is everyone wants to be booked and busy, but you want to be booked and sustainable. Yeah. And I was booked and burnt out.
No, I remember because I would see her like square statements, and there were days where she was like, it was especially around like Christmas time.
Yeah,
she was bringing in like $1,200, $1,600 in a day, and like I had never seen that kind of money. I don't think you had ever seen that kind of money.
No, never.
Like,
but that's when especially when making nothing. Like when I worked at the salon,
my gosh.
I was doing Groupons and I was making 30% of the Groupon, so 0, and then my tips were being taken. And so I was making nothing. And so when you go to making $1,600 a day doing eyelashes, it gets addicting to you.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where sometimes you'll sacrifice your mental health.
There were days she was working like 14 hours in a day.
I literally put everything else on the back burner. Like
health.
I would only eat Starbucks. I would only eat Starbucks drive-through food. I had no time to hang out with my friends.
Tell him your 3-course meal.
My 3-course meal is because we don't have a lot of like food.
It was Starbucks or McDonald's. Those were her options.
I would drive through like a Starbucks.
And so she got the healthy option, obviously.
Obviously, I would get like a breakfast sandwich, a pumpkin loaf. I would get all the cake pops for my clients and one for Mama.
And the cake pop.
I would get 12 cake pops for my 12 clients, and obviously. One for me, maybe one for
obviously, a baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen. Why not make it even? Well, because I was balling out at the end of the day.
You were. Oh, you're like, I got through my 12 clients, a little cake treat.
A little iced chai. Who knows? But anyway, that was totally healthy and good.
Oh, and this was the time you got addicted to Bang.
Oh, and I was addicted to Bang.
Okay,
drinks.
when Madison and I first started dating, this is so funny. She was. We got coffee on our first date, and I was like, "Oh, do you like coffee?" She's like, "Oh no, I don't do caffeine." She's like, "Caffeine makes me jittery." And then at some point, taking,
at some point of me becoming addicted to working and taking lash
she
clients,
also got addicted to energy drinks.
I was like, I need a little caffeine.
She
did. And so in Alaska, the energy drinks they sold were Bang Energy at the time.
Well, this was worldwide. This was during the Bang revolution.
Bang was a revolution.
Oh yeah, Bang was an era.
Do you remember the Bang CEO?
Oh, with the chain, with the big D chain? Yeah, no, that was Madison. She was morphing into the Bang CEO.
I would drink a Bang, have a 3-course meal from Starbucks at 7 a.m. I would punch a wall, and then I would be like, get in here, and I would lash 12 clients, and then I would just come home and I'd be like, I'm a freaking rock star, Elliot. Like I'm an Olympian.
Look at my square for the day.
I'm gonna get us out of here, baby.
I'm gonna do this forever.
I'm gonna get us out of here.
I'm never gonna die.
So anyway, that was my life for a number of years.
Still addicted to energy drinks.
So you're probably wondering, how did you get into trainings at that stage in your life? And because I was so burnt out of taking clients, and not burnt out like my love for it wasn't burnt out. My love for it was strong, but my body, my physical, like my head was completely burnt out. And I had a lot of inquiries for trainings because of the natural way that people saw my books be full.
And Madison had gone out of state to take some trainings.
And that's the other thing. It's like she had
a skill that other people didn't have in Alaska.
The thing is, like, the lash industry needs high quality education. It always it always will, and it is the backbone of the industry. Like with all little niche beauty industries, education is the core of your business. And if you're an educated service provider and you have skills that maybe are newer or that people haven't caught on to yet, you can really grow your business so much faster. It's a fast track to growing your business because the people that can't grow are doing the same thing that they're doing 20 years ago.
Yep.
And so you have to stay open-minded and learn. And yes, you don't have to do everything. Like I don't do all the trends. I don't do certain types of lash looks. I don't do the little foxy, like Russian thing. There's so many trends that you
stay in your lane.
There's so many trends that yes, I conceptually know how to do them. Like I've taken extra trainings and everything. I stay up to date on education, but you want to take as much education as you can and then apply what is going to work for you. And so I took a lot of trainings out of state. I really heavily invested for a long time, like every dime I made into learning something new. And there wasn't a lot of online classes at the time, but there was mapping online classes, strip lash online classes that I took. When there was a lash lift training, I got on that. Did I become a specialist in lash lifts? No, it really wasn't for my clientele at a time. They wanted a more dramatic look, but it was something that I still knew how to do, and it was in my toolbox. And so I was just absorbing every little bit of education, anything that people would give me, because I knew that the more I knew, the stronger my business would become. And then when I took trainings out of state to get better at eyelash extensions, to learn mega volume, to learn volume, to learn how to work with fine diameters, that is when I was doing a differentiated service and I was able to...
So when people started asking if you could teach them how to do it.
Yeah.
Because they saw that it was different.
They saw that I was someone that invested in my education.
Like, it's really hard to succeed as an educator if you're doing the same thing that everyone around you is doing.
So the way that we marketed our education, well, we marketed it the same way we always did in Alaska, word of mouth. Everyone just booked through my DMs and wanted to get in. But when we moved to Arizona, we were small fish in a big pond. So Elliot and I made the hard decision, and the best decision of our lives, really. We said we can't grow my education being where we are in the state we live in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we moved to the great state of Arizona.
A lot of people ask why we moved there. Primarily, it was a business decision for Lightheart.
Also, I did really want to get out of Alaska.
You have to, sometimes...
Also, you gotta live where you like to live. And we didn't like living in Alaska.
And if your business is your whole life, like, sometimes you gotta make those big moves.
But it's like, okay, if we're like, okay, we're gonna move out of Alaska, great. But then where we moved, that very much was influenced by, you know, where the business could thrive. And like Scottsdale is like there's like, other than LA, I think Scottsdale's probably the biggest beauty destination in the US.
Yeah, there's really, it's really hard to grow your business past a certain point or really start to market if you're somewhere where you're kind of limited. And we were limited by, you know, students would always DM me and say, come here, come here, come here. I wish I could fly to you. I wish I could come see you. I wish I could train with you. Mm-hmm. But there wasn't a lot of people that wanted to fly to Anchorage, Alaska to take a class. And so we made the decision to go where people would want to go on vacation.
Yeah,
so
people love coming to Scottsdale.
They do. So we moved to Scottsdale, and initially my goal was to get as booked up with private trainings as I possibly could. And so I pivoted my Instagram presence completely to education. It wasn't like half for clients, half for students. It was completely for potential students to find me and want to follow my journey and want to get trained by me. Mm-hmm. So pivoting into using the right verbiage to attract students is really, really important because if I was talking to clients like book an appointment, lashes that last, lashes that look like this, you know, it would attract clients. But I was like, my clientele will build naturally through things I'm doing with word of mouth and reaching out to people. And I was kind of building my clientele behind the scenes in those ways. But trainings, I was like, this Instagram page, now in 2024, like, your social media, your branding is everything to attract people.
I mean, yeah, I think the big thing with that is that just over a really long period of time, you demonstrated that you were an expert in what you were talking about. And I think that's the kind of thing where it just takes time to build that kind of trust with your audience to get them to believe that you're an expert in something. Like, you just need to talk about it enough. And I think that's one of the other places that a lot of people try to rush it, and they just go like, oh, I'm an educator now, come take my training. You might get some bookings of people who are like in your area where like the stars align and they like need a training for your specific thing. But if you really want to scale and like be someone that people seek out to take trainings from, you really need to, like, for years, like multiple years, constantly, like at least multiple times a week, be teaching people things that they don't already know. And if you are consistently posting things that educate other people, then that's the only way to get people to believe you're an expert, is by like actually being one and demonstrating that over and over and over again. And I think that's why, like, you know, Madison really started posting educational content in like 2020 on Instagram. And it wasn't till like 2022 that we really started selling a lot of educational products.
And you're probably wondering, like, what content did you post? The things that did best for me, which I would encourage you to do, is making series. And so if you're an expert on a certain thing, rather than being like, well, I've made a post about taping, for example. I've made a post about taping. What else do I say about it? I would make like a 10-part series about taping, right? And so taking this one concept that people really struggle with, you would break it into, 10 different things. So you could Google, tips for lash taping, or how do I lash tape, and see all the questions that people are asking on Google. And then you can make 10 reels in a series where you're talking about all those different ways that you could help someone tape a client's eye successfully.
Yeah, like going as in-depth as possible into every aspect of what you're an expert in.
Absolutely. The most successful series I ever did was my Booked and Busy series, which was teaching people how to build their books. And so for 30 days, I posted 2 reels a day, and each reel was talking about a different way that they could creatively grow their lash business and attract more clients. And it was nitty gritty. It was like I would be mostly green screen videos of me being like, if this is your Instagram bio, this is how it's going to be more attractive to attract clients. If this is a photo you're posting of your clients, what about taking photos like this, or this? It's going to be a little more flattering. People are going to be a lot more drawn to it. If this is your referral program, here's how you're going to make it a little bit more enticing for clients to use that referral program. Make your referral cards more like a gift card experience. And all those little tips and tricks were being saved so much and shared so much that number one, set us apart as more of an expert in that space, because people had seen, oh my gosh, I haven't heard that idea before. And number two, it's a way to make 30 to 60 videos out of one idea.
Yeah.
Series do really, really well.
They do really well. And the other aspect of that is I think there's different ways that your content can do really well. There's some content which just gets a lot of eyeballs, it gets a lot of engagement, it gets a lot of views, and then there's content that's really, really valuable to your core audience and that converts really well. And I think those are really 2 different types of content.
Totally.
And so with if you are really focusing on trying to use Instagram to the greatest extent to market your business, I think you really do need to focus on having a balance between those types of content. I think a lot of people really get sucked into the trap of just trying to make content that does really well on Instagram, numbers wise. And I think at least from what we've seen and what we've seen with a lot of the other people we've talked to who do Instagram really well, the content that gets huge numbers generally isn't the content that converts into sales or bookings or students. The content that really converts for you is going to be the content that deeply educates and that builds your community and builds your relationship with your customers and your audience. And that generally won't be viral content. But
viral content, in order for lash content to get 5 million, 10 million views, it's going to be going out into the consumer audience. It's going to be going out into people that aren't lash artists, don't do lashes, aren't ever going to use lash products, aren't ever going to go to beauty school. It's just people.
Yeah.
But I'm much more concerned about nurturing the current people that are looking at me.
Yeah.
Because
the content, the viral content is really good for getting new people into your ecosystem.
Totally.
And getting new eyeballs on your stuff. And once new people who haven't seen your content before see that viral content, they come to your page, then they'll see the more nurturing content that is more geared towards building your audience and building the relationships. And that's what'll suck them in as a long-term member of your community, a customer, a student, a client of yours. And so I think, both are definitely important.
Yeah, those viral content is fine for bringing people to your page if there's nurturing content there for them to stay and want to stay, and they'll learn something while you're there. So the biggest way that we marketed our education is through staying consistent with organic Instagram content, social media content. A lot of people that we talk to,
I think they overestimate the impact that ads have had.
Because we've run ads for a couple years now.
Yeah, and a lot of people have seen our Instagram ads. I mean, that's the reason we spoke at LashCon, was because Paul and Tuscany saw our ads. That was the first thing they saw of us. And now we're obviously great friends with Paul and Tuscany. They're awesome. But a lot of people have seen that our ads show up a lot for them, because obviously they show up a lot for a lot of lash artists.
Targeted, yeah.
They're targeted at
ads,
lash artists. So a lot of lash artists see them and they're like, oh wow, they must be getting tons of sales from these. And obviously they make money, or else like we wouldn't be running them. But they are a way to like supplement the sales that we were already getting organically. They were never the primary driver of sales from us, and they still aren't.
It's so interesting. A lot of people have overestimated the impact that ads have had for us, and it has been, in comparison to our organic, has been very small. It
has. I think ads have been like maybe 20%, maybe 30% at times. Overall, I'd say they're under 20% of our sales, like all time though, are from ads. And ads are really nice because they can provide more consistency, because you're getting basically the same number of eyeballs every day, and you can kind of predict how they're going to convert. And there's definitely benefits to ads to like smooth out your sales and to kind of provide more stability than you get with just like kind of, because organic content really, it'll have spikes and troughs.
Absolutely.
And so like overall you end up doing well, but it's like the ads are really nice because they can kind of smooth out the trough so that you're not like having, $0 days. You always know that like you can predictably rely on this amount of income, which makes like the business easier to plan for. But like overall, our success didn't come from the ads. It's like those are just one part of like the strategy. I think if you were going to attribute like the success of our education to any one thing, it is obviously the organic Instagram.
And the quality of the education.
Yeah, well, that's the other
you
thing.
Have to have
is like
product.
The product has to be good.
Yeah,
that's like, but that's like, that's square one.
Yeah.
Is your product has to be good.
I want to talk about what ads did really well for us and what ads didn't do really well for us. If you're someone that is thinking of running ads.
Yeah.
The ads that performed really, really good for us, which is so surprising, and it kind of broke my brain the way that like what holds people's attention and what doesn't. But what was our best performing ad? I have an idea of what it was.
I think the best performing ad, I think it was the car video.
I think it was too.
I think it was the car one, yeah.
So I really love like heavily produced, beautiful, aesthetic content. Like that is just what I love. And I just have that mind that, because I used to be big on Tumblr in 2012, you guys. Like I love beautiful pictures.
The aesthetic.
I love beautiful video. I just do.
Yeah.
And
Valid.
Like I'm tired of pretending like I don't. I love beautiful pictures. I love a curated feed. I love a video that is like well scripted and eloquent and doesn't have any ifs or ands or buts. Like I love films.
But those don't do well as Instagram
They
has.
don't perform
They
well.
don't perform
and
well.
so when we first started running ads, it was me obviously selling our classes, and I was like, hello, if you'd like to learn this and your work looks like this and you'd like it to look like this, then my name is Maddie and here's what I can teach you and here's my experience and here's where it's going to be and here's my beautiful academy and here's your manual and your kit and click below. And it was this like beautiful ad. And I would always get very glam and do my hair, my makeup and everything. And one day, Elliot said, I need you to give me an ad by 10 a.m. And I go, well, I have a client at 10 a.m. and it is 9:40 a.m. and I'm in my car in front of Lightheart Studios. I don't have any time today to film you an ad because filming ads would take me hours and hours and hours, and I would always end up in tears.
And she hated filming them because she spent so long getting ready for them, and then she had to like retake a bunch of things. She would film them in clips, and then we would edit all the clips together.
So because it's hard to be that eloquent and talk without any hesitation. Without any breaks
Without
or anything.
cuts.
And with ads, you can't have a moment of silence because every single second is costing you hundreds of dollars. And so I would make 45 videos to film one video, and then I would make another 45 videos, and then another 45 videos, and then I would go into CapCut, and I would clip and cut them all together so that there was no space in between my sentences, and then I would send them to Elliot. He would A/B test them, tell me which one did better, and then I would make more of that video. So if I was making one ad, it was actually me making 8 or 9 of that ad, and then we would split test them, if that makes sense. So making ads was the most painful chore for me to do in our business. If I could do one thing, if there's one thing that I just never had to do again in my life, it was film an ad. So I've had a lot of experimenting to do in order for me to be able to make ads that feel good to me and that I don't dread making. Because if you dread making something, people on the other side of the screen are going to be like, is she held hostage?
Yeah,
Like,
blink twice.
blink twice, Maddie, if you're okay. So I had 20 minutes in between me being in my car to me fully taking my client. So I turned my phone on. I was just holding it on my car dashboard. And I was like, hey guys, I have this class. It teaches you how to get lash clients. I'm a lash artist. Like, I've been fully booked for this long. I can show you what my schedule looks like. I don't have anything to hide. Like, I'm not trying to sell you anything you don't need. This is how I'm fully booked. And like, I'm here to tell you how it is.
How you can do it too.
How you can do it too, XOXO. And it was very casual. There was no editing, no cuts.
A regular
I was
video.
wearing a bright blue baseball hat. I didn't even have lash extensions on. And I just looked like so grubby, ready to start my lash day. And
that was our best performing ad for a long time.
And I gave it to Elliot and I was like, just send it out there. I don't care. And it was our best performing ad for a long time.
Yeah, and now like the ads that do really well are the like screenshots of reviews. We'll just screenshot the text that people send and then we run those as ads. You've probably, honestly, a lot of the people watching have probably got that ad because we're running them right now.
And that's along the same lines of we now, we've had the product line since February and we haven't run any ads on it until now because we wanted to see how it will grow organically.
Yeah, we wanted to see what our organic reach was like
Yeah.
so that then we can actually measure the difference that running ads makes.
So right before we went on this trip, Elliot was like, I'm going to turn some ads on. And I was like, well, I don't have time to film any ads because I'm packing my bags. We're getting on the flight right now. And he took some screenshots of reviews that we had and just ran those. And they've been doing great.
They've been doing great. The best one actually, though, is the reel you made where you're just talking about the trays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're just running, one of them is just an Instagram post Madison made that we're running as an ad. And it's performing super
But
well.
I think that the reason why the ads are doing well is because people know like text and like iPhone text is real.
Yeah.
And it's not like a curated Canva kind of like review format.
Because no one believes a review that like you typed on into a Canva template. Like it looks fake.
Yeah,
it
even
looks
if
like you
it's
just
real,
made
it's
it
fake.
up.
And so even though it's not as aesthetic as I would like, and I would like everything to be like a beautiful Hollywood movie, the ads that perform best are going to be the most realistic and the most organic and what people can say, oh my gosh, that is like an ad made by a real human. That's just how it is. And then I want to talk about, and honestly, all of this kind of translated into like the suites and everything like that.
Yeah, the suites, I mean,
All word of mouth.
it was all word of mouth. I think we got one renter from posting it on like a
Facebook group or something.
Facebook.
But the thing with
marketplace.
suites is because it's like it's local and everything.
It's just word of mouth.
It's just Facebook groups
Yeah.
and word of mouth and being involved in your community and being a good influence in your community and not having beef and drama with anybody and being nice to every single person you meet in your area. And that's genuinely how you'll get your suites rented out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
here's the thing, if I was in a city or a town and I was opening up salon suites and I really didn't have a big network of lash artists and it was maybe a smaller town and there wasn't any events for beauty professionals, I would genuinely do like a sip and shop brunch and I would physically go to every single salon on Google and I would give them an invitation.
Yeah, to a sip and shop.
On like a Sunday a month from now. I would invite their whole team. It's free to go. And when they come, I would just get to know everyone, give them little like goodie bags, have a nice catered brunch, have everyone go around and talk about their business, follow everyone online, consistently stay in touch with them and support them. I would maybe do like a free demo or a free training of like some sort. Like if they come, you could do like a free 30-minute fanning workshop or a free 30-minute, you know, like Instagram or clientele workshop or something that's just would be valuable to them. And I would do that. That would be how my game plan for opening suites.
Yeah, absolutely. And that works so much better than like trying to run Facebook ads to fill your suites. Like we ran Facebook ads to try and fill the suites. We didn't get a single runner from them.
And the other thing is like, when I say be like a good member of your community, that's kind of vague, but I have an example. I got a text message at 3 a.m. the other night in Spain. I couldn't sleep, so I responded to everyone. And she was like, hey, I'm looking at your suites. How much are your suites? I need somewhere to rent. Give me the information. So I give her all the information, all our lease terms, the price, what we have available, pictures of the rooms and everything. And she said, thanks, it's out of my budget, but like, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to find somewhere. And I said, no worries. Let me know your budget. Let me know the area you're in and what services you provide. And I'll ask around my network and we'll try to find you somewhere.
Yeah.
There you go. Because then what's she going to do once she raises her prices?
That's what she said. She said, oh my gosh, that would be a miracle. Thank you so much. I'm from out of town. Like, you know, and then once she like gives me more specifications, I'll be able to like find her somewhere. And in the future, if she does have a bigger budget and she wants to be a part of Lightheart, she'll remember who helped her and all the other landlords that just gave her a price and like.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's literally filling the salon suites is the same playbook as getting like clients as a lash artist.
It's the exact same playbook.
It's the same playbook.
Like, be as generous as you possibly can with your responses to people. Assume the best in people. Help them out with nothing in return. And you know, and once you have a few of your core clients, like treat them like absolute gold, and that'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's our next topic?
Our next topic, chapter 5 or 6, if you will, is where we are now, what our marketing strategy is now that we have pivoted into we built an entirely different company starting this year, and how we're transitioning the business. And that might be valuable to people that are brand owners.
Facts.
People that want to be brand owners.
Big facts.
So you talk about it first.
Okay, so the big thing with products is that, so when we're selling education, it's really, we're selling a personal brand. Like Madison is the educator. She is the one who is doing the educating. So like all the advertising, the branding of the business all kind of revolves around her. With products, the biggest benefit that we've seen from a brand perspective of having the products is it allows us to open up our branding to be much more like community focused, and it has allowed us to make the brand a lot bigger than just one person, right? And so Lightheart isn't just us anymore. Like we have obviously employees now. There's not just two people kind of just doing this business together. It's like this is a company that, and we have obviously
Elliot, are we a medium business?
Are we a medium business?
I think we might be a medium business.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're not
a mom and pop shop anymore.
We've graduated from extra small to small.
Small business.
But
it has been a transition.
Yeah, we have like over 100 brand ambassadors now, right?
Yeah.
And like we're building like this amazing community around the products, because the products are something that people have in their hands. They like physically connect with them every day, and so it builds like it really does, having physical products really does allow you to build a much bigger and more robust community than just building it around like education, which people, you know, obviously only take one time. What were you saying?
It has felt like such a big transition, and it has been such a like mental transition for us, like because we have to constantly think and have these conversations of like, what is our 10-year plan with the brand? What is our 20-year plan with the brand? What is our lifelong plan with the brand? It's not just an extra income stream. Mm-hmm. It's not just something that we've added to the business. And so our marketing and our branding has had to completely transition. And you're totally right. Lightheart has become bigger than just us. And one thing that we heard recently that really resonated with us is personal branding was like really, really hot and big in 2020 to now. But now going forward, the brands that are doing really well are community branding.
Yeah. There's a lot of, it's kind of a wave right now, I think. So it's, you know, maybe it's a trend that will start to fade in like 5 years.
But it's a trend I like, and I'm riding it out.
But it's just starting. You see it a lot. It's really been a big thing in the like athletic space.
The wellness space.
The wellness space, athleisure. Even like hardcore athletic brands like Bandit Running has like a really, really strong community oriented like marketing strategy that makes a lot of sense.
Tell them what you mean by community oriented.
So like basically it's giving people, so there's a lot of brands like, okay, take like Coke for example. Coke isn't a brand
I've never heard of them.
I know, right?
Small business?
Yeah, small business. They're local, actually, to Majorca.
Oh, interesting.
Coke isn't a brand that anyone would identify with. No one's going to say, oh, I'm a Coca-Cola drinker. That's part of who I am. Like, a lot of people, and I know a lot of Diet Coke fiends, they love Diet Coke, but it's not really like, it's not part of their personality. They don't connect with Diet Coke on like, or Coca-Cola on like a personal level. But if you look,
they're like, in my soul, I am a brown drink.
Yep.
That's me.
But if you look at aloe, for example, and aloe, I think aloe is, I think this was a lot more relevant probably like 6 months to a year ago, because I think people are starting to hate on aloe a lot because
Really?
I think it's gotten too mainstream, and so people are starting, there's a lot of aloe hate that started to come out.
You're so in the know.
But I think aloe was one of the first larger brands. Like Lululemon kind of did it, but Lululemon was already too big that people were already like, it's too corporate. Like, I don't really like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I identify with this, because it was too big. But aloe for a little bit,
it was kind of like the anti.
It was kind of like the anti Lululemon, and it was also smaller. It works better for like smaller brands, and you can get like big, really big. You can be like $100 million, $200 million, $500 million a year and still be a small enough brand where this works. But like, obviously Lululemon is like a publicly traded company, billion-dollar business. It's too big where this doesn't work anymore. But for smaller brands, like a lot of people would identify with being like aloe customers, and they would like, their aesthetic would revolve around the like aloe clothes that they had. Same with like the Erewhon girlies. Like there is a community. Erewhon? You know Erewhon?
Yeah, you said Erewhon.
Erewhon.
Erewhon. You're like Erewhon.
Well, I don't know. I've never gone. They don't have one in Phoenix.
I'm not an
If they had one in
Erewhon girly.
Phoenix, I would be an Erewhon girly. But
You'd be an Erewhon girly?
I would. Absolutely. I would get my $20 smoothie. Hell yeah. There is a big community. Like, they sell $20 smoothies. They sell $30 smoothies.
Yeah.
It's insane. But people buy them because they identify with the kind of person who buys. Like, they are saying, I am the type of person who does this. They're not saying, oh, I'm going to buy this smoothie. They're saying, I'm the type of person who buys this smoothie. And that's like, it may sound like a very subtle difference, but it's a big shift. It's like, instead of being like a product that people buy, you are a product that makes people like feel a certain way because they bought it. And that is a big shift. And it's like, that's what, like, on like a deeper level, if we're gonna get like deep, that's like what I think community branding is you're making your customers a type of person and not a product just for some people. You know, it's, you sell products for this kind of person. Like, we sell products for artists who love to lash. That is our community.
It's the type of lash artist that uses Lightheart. It's people that they just care about their clients. They care about quality. They care about how their products are like ethically made. They care about the like values of, you know, the community. And that's why, like, if you look at any of the Lightheart brand ambassadors, they have such big hearts, and they all have that. They're all very different, you know, people from all different walks of life, which is what I love about them. But at the core of it, if you were to sit any of them down and like interview them, and you got all their life story, they're like, lashing has changed my life. I love my clients like they're my best friends. Like, there is this ethos around the brand ambassadors where they just deeply, deeply, deeply see lashing as so much more than just a service. And that is kind of the community culture that we're building, is it's so much deeper than lashes. You are doing something that is life-changing, and it all starts with the products you use, the trainings you take, you know, and your heart behind what you do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like, you know, and you'll have some clients where they catch on to that, and they will only see Lightheart artists. Or if they're a hair client, like, oh, I only see a Wella artist, or a like a Paul Mitchell artist. Whatever it is, it's like they catch on to that ethos, and they're like, I know that the person that's doing my service, because they are tied to this certain line, I know that they care about these certain things.
I think, like, going forward, I think the big, like, growth, and obviously we don't know if we're going to keep growing. I hope we do. But if we do keep growing, I think the growth will come from, one, the, like, differentiated quality of our products. Like, our products, they start off they look different from all the other products in the market. But then also we really are trying to focus on like the quality and the user experience of our products above all else. And I hope that really translates into being something that people care about. And I think the other half of that is the community that we're building around our products. And I think those two things together, like having a product that is worth, building a community around, and then the community that we do end up building around Lightheart, I think those are going to be the two like key parts of our success moving forward. And I think that are going to be like the biggest things that we focus on building in like trying to grow and help Lightheart succeed.
Totally. And let me just tell you guys, I know so many beauty professionals. Lash artists are 99% of them are so nice and such good people. And so like
it's like the nicest industry.
In my experience, yes. And I would like to just like rally all of those incredible, good-hearted, amazing, real people that just have hearts to give and serve and get them into the Lightheart world. Like that is my like branding mission going forward. The other thing is we are starting finally after months of owning the brand, we're starting to run Facebook ads again.
We are. Yep.
We're diversifying our marketing methods and implementing some of the standard like e-commerce playbook.
So yeah, I mean that's part of like growing is that like there's a reason that all e-commerce companies invest in kind of the same marketing methods. It's because they work, they're reliable, and I think there's like part of what we're doing is like now that we're kind of growing Lightheart into a like real company that it's not just us. It makes sense for us to do the like regular company playbook to an extent with like investing in SEO and starting to run Google ads and starting to sponsor events and like all the stuff that like everyone does it because it does work.
It does work.
You don't get, the thing about those is that you don't get differentiated returns from doing the same thing as everyone else. You get differentiated returns, like returns that are above and beyond what everyone else gets by doing something different. But the regular returns, the regular ROI that you can get from doing like the standard marketing stuff isn't nothing. You get a positive ROI on it and it's good, but the things that we do get like a differentiated return on are the things that we were talking about like how we make the products different, how we build the community. Yeah. Those are the things that like make Lightheart different from every other company, and that's the thing that I think it makes that we need to really focus on. And then all the other stuff, like all the standard stuff kind of supports that and is kind of like one of the puzzle pieces, but like it's kind of like more supporting than the big things.
The way that I like to think about it is we've built this brand from scratch and we've worked so hard on this brand and these products. Like you kind of owe it to yourself to try as much as you can for as long as you can, like give it your all. And if I was just like posting on Instagram every day, that's not my all. Like there's so many more marketing channels that we can experiment with to grow the brand. So I'm like, while we've started this thing that we've worked so hard on, let's give it our all. Let's try new things. Yeah. Let's hire a marketing director. Let's hire a great team. Like
we'll do everything we can.
Let's do everything we can, even if it's uncomfortable for us or new for us. Like we've done all the traditional marketing things in the past. I could teach you how to build your books all day. But now Elliot and I are in a new space and we owe it to ourselves. We've come this far to go as far as we can with it,
And that's the goal.
And that's why we're exploring. We're learning every single day, and we always see ourselves as like just a sponge. Like you can never know enough. Yeah. You can never know too much.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I think was really special about your speech in Paris, which I would love to leave them with, is you asked the girls, you said, when it comes to your marketing, what do you have the most of right now? Do you have more time than you do money? Or do you have more creativity than you do time? Like you had this like graph that I really liked.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we have time to go into it because we're on like one red flashing bar, but I'm gonna do it real quick. The way I think about marketing is there's like the only way you get results from marketing is by putting stuff into it. Like you put in inputs, you get out the output of your return on your marketing. The three inputs that I think you can put into it are time, money, and creativity. And I think the ratio of how many of each you put in are like depending on where you're at in your business, you'll have different ratios of how many of each you put in. And you can put in a lot of different ratios to get a good return, but you need to put in some of them. So like if you're early in your business, you have a lot more time than you have money. And so it makes sense to invest in the marketing methods that require time and that don't require money. And once you get farther in your business, it makes more sense. You have more money than time. You have cash coming in, but your time is obviously very limited. Everyone only has the same 24 hours in a day. And so it makes more sense to invest more money than to invest time. And the creativity aspect of it, the things that create like viral marketing, like where you make a brand makes a TikTok like Scrub Daddy. They make TikToks that blow up. Everyone watches them because they're just like good videos that people want to watch. They're not investing a lot of time in making them. They're not putting a lot of money into running them as ads. People are just watching them because they're creative, they're funny. I think the creativity is like what you can use with either side to supercharge your returns. So no matter if you're investing time mostly into your marketing or you're investing money mostly into your marketing, no matter what you're doing, you can use like creativity and like doing it in a new creative way to supercharge your returns. And that's kind of what I was talking about with like, we're doing the standard marketing stuff, but in all the standard marketing stuff we're doing, we're trying to do it more creatively so that we can get a differentiated return. And I think one of the key like creative ways that we can run our ads and stuff is by, on the back end, once someone gets into our ecosystem, gets into our community, by building this beautiful community built around these wonderful products that people want to be a part of. Because if we run an ad, someone buys our product one time, but then they join our Facebook group and they take our education and they become a Lightheart superfan, then that one-time purchase from the ad turns into a lifelong customer. Whereas if we didn't have all those other things, that one-time purchase would just be a one-time purchase. And that is a massively different ROI on running those ads than if we, have all that stuff in place and we can get, a big lifetime customer out of one initial purchase. So that's kind of how I think about it. But I don't want it to cut us off mid-sentence, so we should probably wrap up.
Sign off.
Well, love you so much, besties.
We love you guys so much.
Goodbye from Mallorca.
And we'll be home soon. We'll be home soon. Regular scheduled lash content coming to you. If you want me to put some lashes on your face, let me know, because I'm going to refilm all of our online courses when we get home.
Yes.
So if you
New education coming soon.
I'm ready.
New and improved.
New and improved.
Love you so much. Bye.
Hit me up. Bye. Good job. That was a good one.